And it says I'm live. Am I actually live? Cool, guys. Happy Saturday. It is Saturday, right? Stuck at home all day long. Sometimes I don't even know what day it was. I said to my wife on Wednesday, I said, well, she said something about doing a live or doing a video or something like that. And I said, well, it's only Wednesday or it's only Monday. And she looked at me and she said, it's Wednesday. Aaron, hey buddy, how you doing? I like your little avatar. It's part of a steel logo. Love it. Can you do us all a favor and drink a Miller Lite? Sorry, buddy, I don't have any Miller Lite. I'm back on the old Milwaukees, the old Millies. Tin Man Saws. Hey, Steve, what type of beer is best for doing carb kits? Carb kits, you know what? You can use two types of beers for that. You can use either free beer or cold beer. That's the two beers you want to do for carb kits right there. Sinbird, you're 1 minute into Sunday already. Where do you live? Australia, maybe? Hey, by the way, guys, did you guys, any of you guys catch the live I did, what was it, yesterday, the day before? I've also made some fine tuning since then, even because I was still getting some comments saying, hey, your audio and your audio and your video don't sync. Your lips aren't syncing with the audio. My wife came up with a brilliant idea. I did like 5 tests today, private live tests, doing everything I could think of. And she looks at me and she goes, hey, maybe you should try using a different browser for doing that, because I've been using Firefox. And I kind of laughed at her. I went, as if that's going to make a difference. Well, it's worth a test. And I changed to Chrome, and then I did 2 more tests using Chrome, and my lip syncing was absolutely flawless on those 2 tests. So I think maybe that was a little bit of a problem too, if not the problem. How is it for you guys right now? Are my lips matching what I'm saying? Finally, it would be super awesome. Mixed mowers, right on, buddy. I like watching your videos too. Check out Mixed Mowers on YouTube. Wait a second, do you have YouTube videos? Mixed Mowers? Maybe I'm getting you confused with somebody else. Cole, I have never heard of somebody trying to clean a 2-cycle carburetor in a dishwasher. I've never tried it myself. I've never heard of anybody trying it. I think it might clean the outside, but it won't get inside the carburetor where it needs to go. I just don't think that's probably that good of an idea. Then again, now I want to try it. I'll have to do it when my wife's not at home. Right on, Mixed Mowers. Go check him out on YouTube next chance you get. He does have a YouTube channel. So what do we got here? 146 of you guys on here right now. This is awesome. 148 of you guys, and we're only into the video for not even 5 minutes yet. That's great, guys. My point to that was that the chat, I'm not sure if you're aware, but when I'm looking at it right now, all the chat that you guys are doing scrolls up the right-hand side of my screen. And sometimes they go so fast that I miss some of what you guys are saying or questions that you're saying. So I'm going to do my best to catch all this. Yeah, CM, that's a great one right here. Can you do an episode on John Deere transmission belt change? Woo, do I want to do that video. And I happen to have a John Deere riding lawnmower, and you know what? I think I actually need to get under there and change that belt and check some of those pulleys and stuff in there. So that is definitely on the top of my list, CM, for I got a list of just handwritten notes. When you guys comment on one of my one of my videos, and you suggest it, I write them down. I write them down on a piece of paper and just go, that's a great video idea. And I write them down. I got 2 pages. I got probably, oh man, I would say maybe 50 videos ideas, but that is right at the top of the list. Jeff Ferguson, do you work on customers' machines outside of Walker's Saw Shop? I actually haven't worked at Walker's Saw Shop for just a little over a year. And I really don't work on anything anymore. Like my shop is not like open for business, if you want to say, especially now with this whole COVID-19 thing. But even before that, I wasn't really open. I would do, jobs for friends. And even if my friend has a buddy, Steve, can you help him out? Then I would do that. Kind of like really word of mouth, really picky about the stuff that I fix. And especially, hey, did you guys see that video that I just put out yesterday? The one on the Husqvarna, the fixing a Husqvarna chainsaw that won't, when the chain keeps turning on that. That's a perfect example right there. That is a buddy of mine. That's Eli. And so I fixed that for him. But I really like it when I can get somebody wants me to fix something for them, and I can also do a video on it. Then I'm like, right into it, right? I'm like, yeah, I can do a video on that. Sure, I'll fix that for you. And then Eli, just so you know, I charged him 1 beer because I had 1 beer on that video. So he owes me a beer. Mixed mowers. What is it? What does this mean? Hold on a second here. He says, Steve, mate, just done my stream and had Bruce Pender and Terrell Fixes all in it. Was bonkers. What does that mean? Did you do a collaboration with those 2 guys? And again, you know what? You're going to answer that now, and I'm going to miss it because everything's scrolling so fast. Slammer, hey, Slammer gave me a super chat, $2.99. Slammer, I know exactly what that's for. You're buying me a beer, aren't you, buddy? Yes, you are. You just bought me a beer. Thank you, man. That's cool. I don't get a lot of super chats, and you know what? I don't really care. I'm not like some other people out there that do lives. I'm just happy to be here. Like, honestly, and that's why I'm working so hard on getting the video and the audio working properly. So this is nice for you guys to watch. Uh-oh. Sometimes then I'm talking about that, that chat screen that flies up. All of a sudden it'll glitch and go bam, and it goes all the way to the bottom. Mr. Walker, I got to back up here now. Mr. Walker, hi, Steve. I cleaned all the carbon deposits off my pistons, valves, and cylinder heads recently because the mower was smoking a lot. When it runs for more than 15 minutes, still smokes. Any thoughts? You cleaned your valves? Did you adjust the valves? Tell me if you did that. Sometimes nothing helps. Sometimes the engine is just completely worn out. The piston rings, especially on a 4-stroke, like what you're saying there. Sometimes it's just completely worn out and you need to replace the engine, but that's pretty extreme. Slammer says, yes, I am, Steve. I assume you mean buying me a beer. Right on, buddy. Climb 44. I should go climb with Buckin? No way. I've seen him do it. Seen his kid do it. I'm not going to say that I'm afraid of heights, but as much as I am deathly afraid to be up on a high position, I'm not scared. I can't climb a tree like that, man. No way. Now, I'm going to say some of you guys' names periodically here for the next while. I'm going to get them wrong. Don't be offended. Kovler. K. Kovler. How did you get started in small engine repair? That's a good question. I get that sometimes. I've been doing this since I got my first job at a small engine shop when I was 17 years old. I was still in high school, got a part-time job. I still remember the small engine mechanic that taught me how to put my first Tillotson carb kit in a cube carburetor. It was on a Husqvarna 266, I think, teaching me how to do that. I still remember that clearly. And that was a long time ago, man. That was a long time ago. Yeah, you want to know how long ago it was? I'll tell you right now. In 2 days from now, April 6th, I am going to be 50 years of age. It's my birthday in two days. I've been planning my 50th birthday for like 10 years. And then this whole COVID-19 thing comes up and completely screwed my plans. I can't go to Las Vegas. I can't have a party because of social distancing. I can't even go out for sushi dinner now at a restaurant with my family. And now on top of that, I got a campfire ban here because the COVID-19 thing says you can't have a campfire anymore to roast some weenies and marshmallows because the smoke might bother your neighbors who might have respiratory problems and everything. Okay, I get it. But now I'm just like bummed out, man. 50. I'm half a century years old here pretty soon. And I'm going to be stuck at home. Well, you know what? I still got a wife and 2 daughters. Gave them a little list. I gave them a list. Oh, what do you want for your birthday then? I said 1 banana cream pie, 1 coconut cream pie, 2 Big Macs, 2 cheeseburgers, and a large fries. That's all I want for my birthday. And my wife said, well, that's a hell of a lot cheaper than going to Las Vegas, isn't it? Yes, it is. You know what I did miss? I just missed something here. Slammer, did you just put another super chat down? Oh, he just bought me a couple more beers. He said he just super chatted me $4.99. This question and answer is so good it deserves a couple more beers for you, Steve. Thanks, buddy. That's cool. I just love YouTube. You guys love YouTube. How is my sync, by the way? Nobody's even mentioning it, so I'm thinking it's probably pretty good. You know, my lip syncing out of time with the audio and video. Matt, thank you. Happy birthday, brother, he says. Oh, I get a lot of happy birthdays. Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks. I really appreciate that. What do you 223 people watching right now? Hey, that might be a record for me. This is cool. I like this. I got to start answering some questions. You guys are here to ask questions and stuff. Oh, Doug. Doug's not happy with the thumbs ups. Oh, I see. 217 people watching and 75 thumbs ups. Okay, I get you. Tiger Dale 2. That's a tough one to answer. To answer that question, honestly, I would need your on every Briggs and Stratton. Yeah, you said Briggs and Stratton engine, missing the starter. To answer that question, I would need your model, type, and code number off of that. And then I would have to go back and do research on that to find you the answer to that. You can probably, honestly, just as easily Google that yourself, but you will need that. Every Briggs and Stratton engine has a model, type, and code number. And whoever is going to answer that question is going to need all three of those to figure out which one you need. Tipperary Jurger. See, I told you I'm going to pronounce all kinds of things wrong here. Can you explain how to get top dead center on a Briggs engine? This is actually a really good question. The way I do it, the easiest way is to take the spark plug out and stick a long, thin screwdriver, like a carburetor adjusting screwdriver, down the hole where you took your spark plug out, and you can feel the top of the piston on, I shouldn't say, 95% of engines you can do that. Some of them are blocked with the valves, but you can do that. And then you turn your engine over and you can feel the piston pushing up and down on that screwdriver. And you turn it till it's all the way at the top. And then you're going to start wiggling that flywheel, and it's going to be bumping your screwdriver up and down so you know it's at the top. Now, on a 4-stroke engine that I just said that, there's 2 top dead centers because it's a 4-stroke engine. It can be a top dead center on the compression stroke, or it can be a top dead center on the other stroke. So you need to, if you're doing your valves or something like that, that's extremely critical. But that's how I find top dead center. I put a little screwdriver in there and physically feel the top of that piston. Matt Schmidt, that's a great idea. Birthday live stream in 2 days. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do one on Monday, though. That would be kind of cool, though, wouldn't it? I don't think I'm going to be able to, though. Uh-oh. There's my thing just glitched again. Wade Ham. Hi, Steve. What would be the air gap on a steel TS400 concrete saw? By air gap, you could either mean the spark plug gap. Most people don't call that an air gap, though. I think what you're talking about is the gap between the ignition module, the coil, and the flywheel. There is a little tool you can get from Steel, which is just pointless. You know what I use? And this doesn't just apply to TS400 cutoff saws. This applies to, like, I do this on every weed eater chainsaw, cut-off saw, all that stuff. I take 2 business cards. I think the exact spec, the exact how many thousandths of an inch it's supposed to be is really a general guideline. I take 2 business cards and stick it in there and use that as the feeler gauge for that. If you do that on your TS 400, there's nothing wrong with that. It will work absolutely fine if that was your problem. Yeah. Hey, are you guys really super chatting me right now? This is cool. Robert, $4.99 super chat. Oh, you got a little birthday guy dancing there. That's awesome. Rachel, I'm going to say Rachel. I guess it could technically be Raquel. $5 super chat. Cool. You guys are awesome. Savannah Lindsay, do you like pizza? Of course I do. I could literally live on pizza. I could have pizza every day, and I don't think I'll ever get sick of it. Love it. Matt Schmidt, hey, I think I got a comment yesterday, and you said the same thing. I got 2 comments yesterday where what Matt says right here, I want to mail you some local beer, Steve. That's really cool. I don't know how you can do that. You guys know who Terrell Fixes All is, right? I was a guest on his one of his videos a little while ago, and he wanted to send me some Hams beer because I can't find Hams beer where I am. And he looked into it, and he wasn't allowed to ship it to me for some reason. I don't know. He wanted to, but he couldn't. I'm not 100% sure how to do that. I would love it if a couple beers showed up at my door. That'd be cool. Rachel, she's really another $10 because Rachel, is it? See, now you said, yeah, you pronounced it right, but I pronounced it 2 different ways. I said Rachel and Raquel, and you said, yeah, you pronounced it right. Now I don't know. I think it was the first one, Rachel. Spell it for me phonetically. Great question, Maurice Woods. I like this question. I need to do a video on this. I will tell you what my experience is. Okay, first of all, just so you guys don't have to read it, Maurice Wood says, Steve, I have a Poulin 3314 chainsaw. When I turn it sideways to cut, it dies. I think the most common thing with that is your crankshaft seals. Sometimes still put out every chainsaw will pretty much, the RPM, say you have your chainsaw idling at exactly 1400 RPM, and then you flip it over on the side and it'll drop 200 RPM, 300 RPM. That's normal. There's a spec there. It's allowed to do that. But if your crankshaft seals, the 2 little seals that go right in the end of the crankshaft that seal the crankcase, if those are sucking air, if they're leaking, then that is a really good sign right there. If you flip it over on the side, it's just sitting there idling, and you flip it over on its side and it dies, that is actually a really good suggestion right there that it could be your crankshaft seals that are leaking air. And if you're going to look into that, another tip is 95% of the time, if one of your crankshaft seals is leaking, it's the one on the clutch side, not your starter side. I think it's because it gets more heat over there, and if you have to guess which one's leaking, guess the clutch side. Marshall Rugg, thanks, buddy. He's got his 372 XP. That's a wicked saw, Marshall. Wicked good saw. One of the best saws ever made. 372 Husqvarna. Just needed the carb adjusted, eh? Excellent. Cole Boucher. Can I get a Walbro carburetor for still FS56? No, I honestly, I don't believe you can. Steel owns Zama. So they're not going to actually ever put a Walbro on their equipment. Like, why would they? They own a carburetor company. Even if you could find a Walbro that works, I don't believe you can, unless you want to get into making like a little adapter plate and stuff like that. It probably is possible, but not something where you can just buy a Walbro carburetor, it's bolted on and it works. I don't believe that. Yeah. The chat feed's jumping all over the place again. Big J Warlock. Steve, do you have specific brands of aftermarket carbs that you find reliable and would recommend? I don't. I use aftermarket carburetors all the time, and I don't have a problem with them. I've never found one brand that just like really sucks or anything like that, where I would say don't ever buy that brand. They aftermarket carburetors. As a matter of fact, Honda lawnmowers, the original Honda lawnmower. I don't have a carb here handy. I had to show you, but the original Honda OEM carburetor on a lawnmower. It's got a plastic, the needle and seat. It's a plastic seat that can warp and everything, and then it's got a plastic. In a lot of cases, it's a plastic needle, but sometimes not. I take apart not an OEM, not the Honda carburetor, but the aftermarket carburetor, and the needle and seat is different. In my opinion, the aftermarket carburetors for Honda lawnmowers are actually better than the actual Honda ones because of that needle and seat. They seem to be more reliable. Amos Cardoza, smash that like button, please. Mix mowers, yeah, buddy. No, great question, John Smith. John Smith, is that your real name? I think that's a fake name. What's your real name? I'm just kidding, buddy. I'm just razzing you. John Smith says, should the tiller tines on a Mantis 2-stroke, a Mantis 2-stroke tiller turn freely when it's not running? Absolutely not. That is normal. You should not be able to grab those tines and turn them at all. On that tiller, the Mantis, and also the Honda, same thing. You can't turn those tines. I know you sometimes you grab those tines and you start wiggling them, going, these aren't moving. Like sometimes you get a big tiller, like a big garden tiller, and you can spin those tines. Not on those 2-strokes, though. You don't have a problem there. Well, not that. That's not your problem, anyways. Jim Long, my upper steering bushing bearing is worn out. Do you have a video on that? Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's a riding lawnmower, obviously, you're talking about. The steering shaft is a big long shaft that goes straight through from your steering wheel down to underneath. And there's 2 bushings that hold that, and they get loose. Pretty soon your steering wheel wiggles like that. I don't have a video on that, on how to change that. Some of them really suck. There's some John Deeres out there that you wouldn't believe what you have to do to get the steering shaft out to even do that. It's a nightmare. And then some riding lawnmowers are super easy. It's probably why I haven't done a video on it yet. It's on my list, though. That is actually on my list. It's just not at the top. David White, why don't you work on many Echo or Husqvarna leaf blowers? Well, I'll be honest with you, Dave. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 leaf blowers. They're all Steels. That's honestly, I don't have anything against Echo or Husqvarna. Not at all. Echo makes a wicked couple leaf blowers, and so does Husqvarna, and so does Steel. Why don't I work on? I do work on them. You know, when I was at a shop, I did it all the time. But for actually doing a video on them, it's just because I don't have one sitting here. That is the only reason. As soon as one of my buddies or anybody has something like that is broke down, I will do a video on that. Ooh, just glitched again on me. Just got a message from Buck and Billy Ray Smith right there. Obviously, he's not watching this video. Yeah, I get that question a lot. Jeff Ferguson, do you ever work on motorcycles or quads? No, I don't. Not only do I not really have the opportunity to do it, but nobody ever asked me to do it. I know some of those small quads and motorcycles are pretty much just chainsaw engines or weed eater engines on the tiny ones, but yeah, I really don't work on them. Larry M. Okay, I got you here. Last time I'm asking, did I miss your comment before again? I'm sorry if I did. Larry M says, last time I'm asking, is it bad to run my rider mower without a nose cover on it? Larry, I'm not sure what a nose cover is. You mean the hood that covers the whole thing? Or do you mean the top shroud, the actual shroud that covers the top of the engine? I've just never heard anybody call it a nose cover before, so I'm just not sure. I'll watch for your reply. I'll try really hard to find your reply on that. The hood. No, I don't believe that it is the actual hood. I don't believe that that's a problem at all. It looks stupid without the hood on it. If you were running the engine, I've seen people do this before, where they take the top blower shroud off of the engine itself, so you can just see the flywheel sitting there spinning. Well, that is a big no-no, because the flywheel spinning in there, it's a fan, and if you don't have the cover, the engine cover on there, then the air is just blowing straight out, and it's not being redirected down onto the engine and cooling the engine like it's supposed to be. But running it without a hood on it, just the hood, I don't see a problem with that at all. The hood on that thing does nothing more, in my opinion, but to hold the headlights and to make it look prettier. Maybe keep a little bit of grass so the grass isn't covering your engine, kind of protect it from that. As long as you keep the engine clean, I don't see a problem. Now, who was I looking for? Yeah, okay. Right. Perfect, Larry. Excellent. So I answered your question. Excellent. Well, Adam Lee says, hi, Steve. I bought a MS 460, which is a chainsaw, that dies over half throttle. Any ideas? If you've watched my video on how to tune the carburetor on a chainsaw, if you've done that and it still does that, I almost want to say the exhaust could be plugged on it, but I've never seen an MS 460 steel chainsaw with the exhaust plugged. So what did I just see? Jumped ahead on me again. KCR says, Steve, do you know what issue is with a brand new MS 291, which is a steel chainsaw, if it quit cranking? I assume that you mean, Casey, that it doesn't start or doesn't fire. Just in case, I do have a video and if you go back to my playlists on YouTube and go to my chainsaw playlists, there is a video in there that says something like, it's been a while, I think it says something like, what you can check if your chainsaw doesn't start. And there's several different things in there that it could be. It's impossible for me to answer your question right here live. But if you go back and check that video out, you might find something in there that's your problem. Mixed mowers, you're South England? Oh, I didn't know that. Steve Ross, watching from Sundre, Alberta. I used to live in Sundre. I am not kidding you. That's a name I haven't heard for a very long time. A good portion of my family used to live there, probably still does. Adam Lee, tuning makes no difference. Exhaust is fine. It's really hard to answer that question, Adam. You're going to have to let me think about that one for a little bit. I do want to answer you and help you, but I got to think about that a little bit. What are we at? 40 minutes. Okay. Got 20 minutes left. I'm going to try to keep my lives to like around an hour. Yeah, Clive. Yeah, I do want to actually talk to you about this. Clive James says this steel wireless tachometer has you showed is difficult to find. Oops. Hold on. I'll be right back. Maybe not. Can't find it. Thought it was sitting right over there. I was just going to show you what he's talking about. It's a little digital. It's a little square box that you hold it near your spark plug or your spark plug lead, and it reads digitally on there how fast your RPMs are. Okay, so Clive, the steel one that I used in that video, it's like $120 or something like that. I've used ones from Amazon that cost $20 that do the exact same thing. I just don't see how $120 one works any better than a $20 one because it says steel on it. I've never seen one that doesn't work. Oh, on that note too, some of you, I have had some comments saying, yeah, but your link shows the one with the wire and I have to use the wire. No, you don't have to use the wire. The wire is there if you're using it as an hour meter. You can actually put that thing and attach it, like say to your riding lawnmower. You can screw it right on there so it's there permanently. And then you can take that long wire and wrap it around your high tension lead, your spark plug lead, to use it as an hour meter. If you're using it for a tack, you don't need that wire. Even though the picture on some of my links show it with a wire, you just leave the wire off and just use it like the one I used. So yeah, Clive, I don't actually have any other recommendations. I bought two of them on Amazon now. I think one was $20 and one was $25. Just to have them kicking around, and they work absolutely the same. Wow, how many? 263 you guys on here. That's why the comments are moving faster for me. Vita Johnston. Oh, what do you think about Farm Tech saws? I don't know. I want to buy one. I want to buy one and test it. Wade Ham, right on, buddy. Peace out. Thanks for stopping by. You're welcome, Clive. Derek, I don't know what a cylinder mower is. Oh, I think I do know what you mean. Do you mean a real mower where it's got the blades sideways that go like one of the old school ones? Is that what you're calling a cylinder mower? Yeah, where I live, I think that's what you're talking about. But where I live, we call them reel mowers, REEL, reel mowers. And sharpening them, man, that's a whole procedure. You got to take it completely apart. There are lathes, actual metal lathes that are made for sharpening those, and it cuts those blades down again. Most case scenario is adjusting the bed. There's most of those mowers have little adjusters on them because you got the reel that spins with the blades going this way, right? Four, or five, or six of them, and they're just barely touch what I call the bed. It's another little straight knife that doesn't move, and that reel cuts against the blade as it's going like this, the bed. So you can adjust that bed up and down. What I do, and it makes it work way better, is adjust that bed so when you roll it, you can hear that reel ticking against the blade. Kind of hard to describe, but when you start doing it, you can actually adjust it too much so it's actually jamming the reel so it doesn't work. But you want it just enough so you can just hear it scraping that blade a little bit. You can clearly hear it going and scraping that blade. And then there's like no distance between the two, and you're going to cut your grass way better with that. Sharpening them, I don't even get into that. Steve, how's the coronavirus where you're from? I think the same as everywhere else. Well, maybe not the same as Italy. Apparently, that's really bad over there. Yeah, everything. We're not in lockdown where I live right now. Uh, but yeah, it's the same thing. Like it's weird going to a store now. If you have to go get some groceries or if you have to get gasoline, it's weird going into stores now. Everything's blocked off, and it's odd. Yeah. Hey, unknown. I think that's a pound. What is that? Super chatted me. What is that? I think it's a pound, like an English pound. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, who just said that? Pete Froud. Mick, I have the grind paste for them. When you, from my understanding, the grind paste that you put on one of those reel mowers, I think you're supposed to make it go backwards. Has anybody ever heard that? You put that, it's like valve grinding compound that you put on there. And then I think you run the thing backwards with your bed and your knife blades touching. And I've heard people say that before. It's probably the best you can do without taking it apart. Thanks, Hunter. I'm really happy that I've helped you. That's really cool, buddy. Mr. Hunter Long. Yeah, it's a good Lawrence, what is the best weed eater to buy? I think it depends on what you're using it for, whether you're putting a line head on it or whether you want a blade on it, and also what kind of blade. I honestly believe that one of the highest quality line trimmers or weed eaters are Shindala, made in Japan. Echo owns them now. There's a lot of similarities between Echo and Shindala now. But the old Shindalas, man, those were high quality units. Backlapping the cylinder. Good to know. You're welcome, Adam. My pleasure. What is the best industrial chainsaw to buy? Adrian. Man, that's a really tough question. Like literally, that's like asking somebody what's better, Ford or Chevy. You're going to get comments from both sides on that one. It's Husqvarna and Steel both. I mean, and it depends on how old it is. The old Husqvarnas, like your 61s, your 266s, your 288s, were wicked chainsaws, just unbelievable chainsaws. And then you got some Steels out there too that are like the old 036 was a bulletproof chainsaw. Yeah, it's glitching up on me again here. What have we got? Who's that? Hey, John Adams. Just caught. Oh, I'm glad I caught that. I almost missed that. Thank you. John Adams super chatted $20. He says, thanks for all the tips and tricks. You are more than welcome, buddy. You are more than welcome. It is honestly my pleasure. I love putting out the videos on Steve Small-Ended Saloon. I love reading all the comments coming in. It's just an awesome community. 3 years ago, I started this just over 3 years ago. 3 years and 1 month ago. And it has turned into something I've never expected. It has turned into an actual community of people grouping together and helping other people. You know, even in the comments and underneath my videos, somebody will ask a question on one of the comments, and then there'll be other subscribers in there answering the question and helping that guy. It's amazing. It's awesome. Thank you, John. That's cool, man. See what I told you? Chevy is better. No Ford. No Ford. Chevy. It's just you could do that with Husqvarna and Steel chainsaws too, and you're going to get the same response. Ooh, they're moving fast again. Stefan says Kawasaki generator will not start. Drained out the old fuel and put new fuel in. Well, you know what? It's good you did that because that's something you should have done anyways. But most likely, just from what your question, I would check the main jet. I do have it's a Kawasaki. I would go check in my lawnmower playlist on my channel. Look at the one that says Honda style carbs. How to clean a Honda style carb. It's going to be really, really similar to your Kawasaki. And it might be something as simple as that. Read through the comments on that one. There's guys who just say, wow, this is amazing. All I did was poke out that little main jet and the thing runs perfectly again. Even though you drained out your old fuel, the main jet still could be plugged off because that old fuel crystallizes and gets gummy and it'll goo in there. David White, God, thank you for asking, Dave. You a man. I was wondering when I could have another sip. Old Milwaukee. John Smith, I got a video. I think I actually have. Did I do that video? John Smith says his Mantis tiller has seized tines and won't turn even while it's running. Go back to my playlist. I got like 160 videos or something out now, and I think I did one. It's going to be, I have a playlist that's actually called Tiller Playlist or Rototiller Playlist or something like that. And I think I have a video in there that might answer your question. Check it out. Right on, Australia. Good day, mate. There's a good question. Hey, Mark Atkinson, 5 super chat, £5. Am I saying that right? Is that actually the emblem for pounds? I have got super chats before where they're just the weirdest little thing. They're like crones or rupees or something. But okay, Mark Atkinson, £5, I think. Awesome. Thanks for your help. Oh, I got to scroll down here. Thanks for your help, Steve. I fixed quite a few mowers for customers in the UK. All the best, Mark. You're very welcome. Happy to do it, buddy. Thanks for buying me a beer. Love it. Okay, who was I just looking at here? Yeah, Ed Sawyer. I'm going to say Sawyer. Weed whackers, straight versus curved shaft. What's the difference? When I used to sell weed eaters, when I worked at a shop, the main differences between those, in my opinion, is that straight shaft weed eaters, if put it this way, if you see a guy who's 6'3", 6'2", holding a curved shaft weed eater, and like he's actually cutting with it, the line head is like that far from the toes of his feet, because they're short and they curve back. Tall people love the straight shaft because the straight shaft sticks out way further away from their feet, so they're not always feel like they're bent over trying to weed eat. The other thing about that is straight shaft weed eaters, you can get underneath of things. You can get underneath of a really short patio, or underneath of a picnic table, like a trailer or something like that. You can get underneath of there and cut the grass underneath. Where a curved shaft one, because it's curved like this, it's way taller when you put it down, so you can't get underneath of things. And on top of that, a lot of straight shaft ones, you can put a blade on. Not all of them, but a lot of the straight shaft ones, you can convert it to actually have a blade disc on it to cut like little, saplings down and stuff. You can't do that with an actual saw blade on any curved shaft unless you really Mickey Mouse it. And then that's not good for the shaft anyway. That's the difference, in my opinion. Chris Oliver, I don't know yet. He says, Steve, what's the best weed whackers running on a battery? I don't know yet. It's relatively new technology. I've worked on some, which I actually don't like doing because I just feel like it's not really a small engine mechanic problem. There's no piston, there's no carburetor, there's no anything on it. It's just electrical wires and whatnot. When I have to fix one, I just go, well, why am I fixing this? I'm a small engine mechanic. This is like, I almost feel like it's like an electrician should be doing this. Holy cow, 305 of you guys in here? Well, I guess I'll stay on for a little longer then. It's getting an hour right now. But seeing as there's so many of you guys in here, and I still have 3/4 of a beer, I got some time. Sorry, Chris Oliver. I just don't really have a response for it. I just don't know. I haven't worked on enough of them, and they haven't been out long enough for me to answer that question. John Doe, right on, buddy. Thanks for stopping by. Peace out, brother. Yeah, Warren, Warren, that is something I really haven't got into that much, is hedge trimmers. I have got a ton of requests on how to sharpen a hedge trimmer. I've sharpened so many hedge trimmers in my life. It's ridiculous. I got to do that. That's at the top of my list to do a video on that. As far as the servicing goes, like you're saying, a steel HS45, in so many ways, it's the same as a weed eater, line trimmer. Even as far as tuning the carburetor and everything, it's the same thing. Or leaf blower, a lot of it's the same. Kevin, you're absolutely right. There will always be an engine to fix, no matter what happens with this battery powered stuff. Dale, really? You got a Farm Tech chainsaw? Nice. Kicks ass. Beauty. I really want to get one. I really want to get one. I want to get one of those ones that's just completely ripped apart, where it's just every individual piece. They send it to you in a cardboard box and you have to put it together yourself, like every bolt and nut. It's like a big boy's jigsaw puzzle. I want to get one of those. That'd be just fun putting it together. Just glitched down on me again. I don't know what that is, Adam. Adam Lee. We've just bought an Amazon Profi Hopper. Do you know them? I've never heard anything even sort of similar to that. Even if that's a typo for you or something, I don't know what that is. Warren, you're welcome. I know, Adam Lee. I know. I want to do that. I want to actually do that. Oh, just so you guys, just in case you're not reading that too, he says you got to do a Farmer Tech build video where I actually build that thing on video and show how to put it together. Well, that's on my list. That's way at the top of my list too. It's been on there for about a year and a half on that list. I just got to get to it. The chat message that you guys are putting your chats on here, your comments are going up and down on me. I think it's because they're coming in so fast. It's hard for me to actually hold one so I can actually read anything. Oh, yes, Kevin. Kevin Muir. Does Italy make any good chainsaws? I don't know if they make them anymore. If you guys ever see a green John Deere chainsaw, instead of yellow, it's green. They're called, they actually have similar model numbers to Echoes for some reason. They're called the CS 46 or whatever. They actually say right on the side, made in Italy. They are not made by John Deere, and John Deere doesn't put them out anymore either. There's a whole reason behind that. But EFCO, EFCO, EFCO is an Italian company. I hope they still are. They used to be. And they put these chainsaws out and they still sell them under the EFCO name, but they're orange like a Echo, sold under the EFCO name. They used to be just green plastic on them instead and said John Deere on them, but they were the exact same as an EFCO. They were unbelievably awesome chainsaws. Like, I mean, awesome. They started instantly. They were smooth. You couldn't even feel them running in your hand. I actually really miss those things. I hope AFCO is still an Italian chainsaw company. I really hope they are. Somebody look that up for me. Yeah, the whole, yeah, what did I just see there? There, it glitched on me again. It's moving. Ron Wilbur, you're more than welcome. Fixed his old Murray riding lawnmower. Tinman saws. I didn't even know EFCO made a 100cc saw. I don't think I've ever seen one that big. That's cool, man. Snookeroo. Did I drink all the beers behind me? Yes, I did, but I didn't do it all in one day. It took me 3 years to get those up there. See, what do you say? Cam, say it to me again then. Cam says you skipped my question entirely. It's not on purpose, Cam. It's because the comments are scrolling by so fast. I'm missing. I know I'm missing tons of questions on here. I'll scroll up. Cam Adley. Let me just scroll up and see if I can find your question. Okay, there you are. Your snowblower is leaking oil near the output shaft. Do you mean on your engine or on the little gear case that's down by your auger? Do you mean the crankshaft that comes out of the engine, or I'm not sure. That could be two different questions there. And you know what though? Now that I just said that out loud, in either case, it's still probably going to be the same fix. It's a seal. It's an oil seal that seals the shaft going into the casing. It's going to be a leaky shaft or a leaky seal. Yes, you should always start your pressure washer when the water is turned on. I do have some videos in my pressure washer playlist about that exact same thing. You don't ever want to start your pressure washer up if there's no water in the pump, because the seals, most of the time there's three little pistons that punch in and out of these really tight fiber seals, really tight. And if there's no water in there to cool those or lubricate them, that piston punching in and out of there can melt those seals like within seconds. The friction with no cooling in there. Always turn your water on first. Opic. Opic Hokel. I just some of your names I just can't wrap my head around them. How many pieces of equipment do you fix in a day, average? Not very many. Now that I don't work at a working shop, I'm just doing what I do on YouTube for a living now. When I worked at a actual small engine shops, I would say it depends. It depends too if they're like full on repairs or if they're just quick services like weed eater services or quick little tune-ups. It's really hard to say on a day where I just had, where my boss would say, Steve, we've got way too many weed eaters in here. Burn through, do nothing but weed eaters today. Let's get some of these weed eaters out of here. I would probably do 9 or 10 a day. You know, if they didn't need the engines ripped apart or something like that, you know, just tune up services. Do I work on Kubota engines? Not for a very, very long time. They're not really popular where I live at all. There's just hardly any of them even around here. I actually haven't seen a Kubota engine for a long time. So it's F. Oh, perfect. Sandy Rose. Oh, did you just look that up for me? Thank you. Says FCO. So it's FCO.com, EFCO.com. So they still are in business. Made EMAC, Italy. Cool. I'm really glad to hear that because they're awesome. No, I have not tried the new Steel 500i. I haven't yet. Whew. It's hard for me to even focus on these comments now. They're going by. Wow, almost 300 of you guys in here still. I love it. I do have to go pretty quick, guys. I'm just giving you the heads up. Not right this second, but pretty soon. We've been on an hour and 13 minutes. My eyes are starting to go a little wonky here. No, I'm not. I'm not on Corona tonight. I'm on Old Millie's. Old Millie's. Tobias, that's a I saw your comment go flying by and I went, "Oh, what was that?" And I had to back up to find you again. Tobias Boone. Is it okay to use 10W30 full synthetic automotive oil in a Honda GX series motor? The manual says 10W30 high detergent oil. You know what? I get this question quite a bit. I'll tell you guys this. I know a GX is not a lawnmower engine. It's not a GC, but those little small engines, they're not NASCARs. They're not Formula One race cars. Here's one thing that's funny. To me, it's funny. If you buy a lawnmower, say it's a Craftsman lawnmower, it's got a Honda engine on it. And then you go look at a Toro. It's got the same Honda engine on it. There's a sticker on the top of one that says use only 10W30. And then the sticker on the other one says use only 30 weight. It's the same exact engine. There's no difference. Why does one say 1030 on it and the other one says 30 on it? So obviously even the manufacturers of those lawnmowers know it doesn't make a difference. There are tons of rental shops out there that have diesel equipment around it. You want to put 1540, 15W40 in diesels. It's actually diesel engine oil. And because they have barrels full of it anyway, they're also doing lawnmower repairs and stuff for their rental. And they just use the same oil and they never have problems. There's no problem. It's engine oil. Just make sure you don't put like blue 2-stroke oil in your crankcase of a lawnmower. Then that's a different story. Engine oil is engine oil. There's just no way that I believe that it makes a difference if you use synthetic or regular high detergent. High detergent you put on there on high detergent oil. Oh yeah, that is actually what you want, or not. It doesn't matter. Yeah. I kind of was reading that where it said non-detergent. Well, non-detergent oil is what you want to put in a pressure washer pump because it doesn't foam. The detergent in it is what makes your oil foam, and that's what you don't want in a pressure washer pump. But the motor, it's okay. I have 50-year-old eyes now. Not quite. 2 more days. I will be 50 years old in 2 more days. You bought an Italian chainsaw today for 50 pounds? Really? That's awesome. I don't know why there's no Kubotas around me. You know what else we don't have around here? That a lot of people comment on my channel saying like Exmark. We do have some Exmarks, but barely any of them around. Skag lawnmowers. I guess they're just crazy in the States, but up here in Canada, I don't think I've ever seen a Skag lawnmower. I don't know why they're not here. Maybe something to do with free trade, or I don't know what it is with the duty. Maybe they're not allowed to send them here. I have no idea. I just know they're not here. That's right, Captain Fantastic. It's not a flippin' space shuttle, man. You got that from Terrell, didn't you? Oh, you watch Terrell. So do I. Yeah, Crotiqua. Forgive me. I'm not making fun of your names, honestly. I just feel so stupid sometimes trying to pronounce them. Crotiqua. Is it okay to use cooking oil to lube the chain on chainsaws? I would not use that because I think cooking oil is probably more expensive than just actual chain oil for one thing. But there's tons of people who use that. Hey, up here in Canada, there's a lot of hunters take a chainsaw out and they, a moose or an elk, you know how big that animal is? And they use a chainsaw to cut that thing into quarters. Well, of course, you don't want chain oil contaminating the meat. They will completely clean their chainsaw out and then use cooking oil in it because obviously that's food safe. So lots of people do that, but not on a regular basis. I just don't see why you would. You're not going to save money from doing that. You did not. Just say that. Fresh funk. I know exactly what you're talking about. Really? Is it the eyes? I don't get that very much these days. Fresh Funk said, no one puts baby in a corner. I know what you're referring to. Yeah, Captain. It's not my 21st. 50 years old. 2 days I will be 50 years old, not 21. However, I do clearly remember when I was 21. Oh, it's the best age, isn't it? Oh, wish I could go back in time. That's a good question. I just did one. Tidewater Truckers. I just did one. Says, is there a way to rebuild the top and bottom end of a BR600 without taking the fan assembly off? I don't think there is, but just so you know, to take that fan assembly off, I believe you have to have a 17 millimeter socket to turn the fan. And those fans are so freaking tight that I thought I broke the connecting rod in. I took the spark plug out and put the piston stop in there, and I was turning it so hard I had to get a buddy of mine to hold it while I had a bar on the end. And oh, by the way, it's not left-hand thread. A lot of fans on blowers are left-hand thread. On a BR600 steel, it is not left-hand. You turn it off normally. And I was pulling on that bar so hard, and it went crack. And I thought I literally broke the connecting rod off the piston. But that's how tight that fan was. I do think that you have to get that off. Well, you definitely have to get it off if you're doing the bottom end, but rebuilding the top end, you may be able to get away with that without taking that fan off. Not 100% sure. I can't really remember when I, clearly like trying to do that. I took it all apart. That's right. 50 years young. Thank you, Sandy Rose. Thank you very much. Said happy birthday. Yeah, carburetor, Travis. Yeah, carburetor bodies do go bad. I've seen carburetors before on lawnmowers or whatnot, where part of the aluminum or the magnesium on it is like completely eaten off, like just rotted right off, where parts of the carburetor are actually gone. They're not even there anymore. So yeah, it's kind of rare. I don't see too many out there that are that bad, but it definitely happens. Yeah, Tinman. Carbs can corrode, yeah, and they just fall apart. Especially with outboards. Oh boy, that's a big one. Outboards in salt water. That even makes it worse. Oh, Joseph. Have I ever worked on any of the old two-stroke lawn boys? Yes, unfortunately. I am so glad those things are almost done. I see less every year. I see less and less of those things. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've actually seen a two-stroke lawn boy lawnmower come in for repair anywhere for at least 2 years now. I think they're almost all dead. They were not fun to work on. Tyson Harris. I have a Craftsman riding lawnmower that backfires when on a half a tank of fuel. I put new fuel in, still does the same thing. Backfires when you have a half a tank of fuel. Yeah, you're gonna have to. Only when it's a half a tank. That's. You're gonna have to let me think about that one a little bit, Tyson. Yeah, I got to think about that one. Tom. He says, my 100-year-old uncle says you are halfway there, bud. And that's exactly right. He's a century old and I'm a half a century old. No, I'm not. Not yet. I'm 2 days away. Hey, buddy, thanks. Happy birthday, mate. Couple of beers on me. 10 bucks. 10 euros. What is that? 10 something. Hey, I'm just happy that you're buying me a couple beers. Thank you very much. That's cool, buddy. Hank Poth, you probably don't even know that he's from Milwaukee and he probably doesn't even drink this crap. Actually, I really like this beer. Chewy says string trimmer makes grinding noise when pull starting. The noise goes away after it's running. That really sounds to me, without knowing more details, it really sounds to me like it's something in your starter. I've seen that happen before. You pull a starter off and there's literally a freaking rock stuck in your starter mechanism that is doing that. I really think that's probably something in your starter mechanism itself that's doing that. Oh, it's euros, right? Right. 10 euros. That'll definitely buy me a couple beers, man. Thanks. Yeah, Richard. He says I'm only 21 years old, but with 29 years of good experience that followed it. And you know what? That's how I feel. I do not feel like I'm anywhere near 50 years old. Carbino, M. Carbino, Charbino. Yeah, I think it's Carbino. Maybe not. Just wanted to thank me for helping him with a lot of problems in the last few years. He really appreciates it, and it is my pleasure, buddy. No, Chandler Funk. No, I haven't got a bench grinder yet. You know what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting because I don't really have the bench space, like this bench behind me. I got a vise on this side, and there's not really a lot of bench space in here, like working bench. I want one of those stands where it's not quite like a tripod, but it's a stand with a pipe on it, and then you can put a bench grinder on top of that, and then you can actually move the thing around. That's what I'm looking for right now. I do need a bench grinder, but on a movable stand. That's what I want. David P., I wouldn't count on that. I know several people that go, I feel like I'm 80 years old today. I do know what you mean, though. Nice. Marshall Cruncher says my brother's ATF and acetone trick is the only thing he's ever used that worked getting an old ball off of a hitch. I know, it's unbelievable stuff, isn't it? Unreal. Fresh Funk, that saw up there, that two-handle saw, I've never used it, no. That was given to me, my mechanic buddy of mine, his name's Paul Laukinen. He gave that to me specifically for the back set for the show, for Steve Small Engine Saloon. He thought it would look really cool in the background. So he got it from his dad's basement or something like that. I can't really remember the story, but he got that somewhere and said, hey, you need this in your back. And I said, absolutely, I do. That's a good idea. Terry, tire rim makes a good base for a grinder stand. I've actually seen that before. It's a great idea. I just need a welder now. Well, you know what, guys? That's an hour and a half. I hate to do it, but I really think I need to sign off. This has been so before I do sign off, for those of you that were on my last live, is the audio and video syncing better than that last one? What do you guys think? I do need to know, I do need some feedback on something like that so I can carry on and try to make it better. Or if I go, hey, I fixed it finally, then that's excellent. Awesome. Audio video is fine. Perfect. Synced up nicely. I think I might have nailed it this time, thanks to my wife. My wife's the one who said, try a different browser. And it actually worked. Spot on. Working great. Sync is a lot better. Excellent. Excellent. Oh, I'm really glad I didn't give up on this. Okay. Well, hey, you know what? Thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in. 269 of you guys still in here. Thank you to all you super chatters. So cool, man. You guys were buying me some beer there during that chat. I love it. Thank you so much. And I'm going to try to do this every week now. I'm going to try to make it a regular schedule to where I can come on every Saturday at about the same time and talk to you guys and answer as many questions as I can for, an hour and a half. So thanks all for coming. Steve, oh, I got to do this. Steve out.